What's up, Jay-Topians? How you doing, my loves? Oh my God, it's been so long. It's been so long since I've been like in front of a camera and like actually, I just lied to y'all. Stop the presses. It hasn't been long because I've been on TikTok. So if you want to follow me on TikTok, please, 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 I'll put it somewhere around here. I have been on TikTok. So if you have been following me on TikTok, and if you want to follow me on TikTok, please follow me. Please like and subscribe. It's been a minute. It's been 3 years exactly. Happy New Year, my loves. Happy New Year's. You know how like you have that cousin that like comes around during family reunions, get their plate, and you never see them until the next family reunion? That's kind of how I am. Noticing that, learning that. I've been in therapy. It's been a lot. But let's get into it. And we'll just play catch up. So okay, so 3 years. 3 years. I guess the first thing I want to do is like, we're not gonna be, and if you see me looking over here, it's because I have my notes behind the screen. But regardless, I want to first start by like saying like why I've decided to like start posting again. Just because like one thing that I've noticed in my therapy journey, and we'll talk about that later in the video. One thing I've noticed in my therapy journey, in my self-reflecting journey, and whatever you want to call it, shadow work, however you want to call it, I noticed that oftentimes, because I don't see immediate results of what I was expecting from a project or from anything that I'm doing, I kind of just stop. And so one of those things that I want to do, and I want to be more consistent with things like working out, YouTube, TikTok, things like that. One thing that I really, really, really enjoyed was making YouTube videos. And then every time, well, not every time, but most of the time when I come to YouTube and I finally look at my comments from past videos, they're always like, I came here, found your videos, and I found that you're not making any more content, which is kind of heartbreaking because it's like, dang, something that I was passionate about, something that people actually like connect with and resonated with, and I just stopped. So that kind of made me like really be like, you know what, in 2026, let's buckle down and get into making more content. And I think that oftentimes people were finding connection with, you know, that because there's not a lot of bisexual Black dudes making content, pushing content, sharing their perspectives and things like that, which again, I still will be doing that, but I also want to share a lot of my mental health and my mental journey, I don't know exactly what to call it. I'm still trying to find a name for it, but I want to share that. I want to share more stories, things that's been going on with me and things like that. So I think that my main thing is to remain consistent. So if you are watching this video, please, again, interact with it, interact with my past content. Let me know things that you want me to talk about. You can even like write me in the comments and like, we can just chit chat. Again, like before, it was just shooting the shits. So let's shoot the shits. We cousins. Let's have at it. So again, like I said, my goal is to remain consistent in 2026. Again, same me, just evolved. Like I said, in the past 3 years, I think since my last video, I lost my grandma. Woo, that was heavy, and that'll be another video. I moved to Texas. So I moved from Detroit to Texas, and that's been a journey. Has so many different positions. Well, not so many, but I had 3 positions since moving to Texas. Saw someone get murdered. Like, all of these will be videos because that's going to be a funny one. But all of these video, like all of these will probably be videos. Again, I'll share my perspective still. I'll share like my journey. And now it's just gonna be, so it's basically Jay-Topia, but times two, because I'm gonna be like, again, sharing my mental health, and I want to help make mental health content. I want to make sure that I want to take my identity, my Black bisexualness, and I want to expand it towards people with, who's struggling to find themselves. I don't know, just help people at least get exposed to mental health and learning about different things that can help benefit them on their mental health journey. So that's kind of like where I'm kind of like, most of my content is going to be about moving forward. I hope you like it. And if you don't like it, let me know in the comments, because we can talk about it. So again, life updates. So let's go into life updates. So the move to Texas. The move to Texas was insane. I moved here with a significant other, which that chapter is finally about to close soon. Anyway, and so like, but I will say that like the move to Texas has been an up and down journey. Really high moments, really low moments. Like I said, I moved here for a marketing position. I ended up switching twice. I'm currently working in kind of like mental health with youth and mental health development, which I'm sort of liking. I think that slowly but surely, okay, let me back up. Things happen for a reason. Everything happens for a fucking reason. Everything happens for a reason. I truly believe everything happens for a reason. And I think that with the move to Texas, this is now, because ask me 2 years ago, I would never be saying stuff like this. But I think that the move to Texas really was beneficial for me to be exposed to a lot of different things and a lot of different aspects, or even realizing a lot of different aspects of myself that I didn't know about myself. I didn't realize was an issue. There was a lot of things that I realized that was toxic, learned behavior, ingrained behavior, generational behavior. Moving to Texas allowed me to take a step back and really evaluate who I was, what I wanted to do. And I'm still not even there yet. I'm gonna keep it a bean. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Still not there yet. But I'm getting, and I now have the tools and I have the resources to navigate through that. Even though I did before, but like now, because I can take a step back from all the things that I once was and that once made me, I can now see what I like and what I don't like, and I can now decide what the hell is best for Jalen. So like, I will say the move to Texas was something that was beneficial. I don't plan on, let me preface this by saying I probably don't plan on staying in Texas unless something major happened to where things are going to be kumbaya and like everything is going to just be like Texas is the way, but I don't plan on being here much longer. But who knows? I noticed that life just throws you places and you just go with it. So yeah, moving to Texas, and I'll go more into detail in a later video if you guys want that. And for that video, ask me questions so I can like have something to go on, and I can have things to like talk about and like talking points. I'm gonna try not to go too deep because again, this will be another video. Losing my grandma was a main component of me moving because all in all, I always wanted to move out of the state of Michigan. I always wanted to like see what life was outside of Michigan. But it was the loss of my grandmother that made me really say, okay, I can finally leave this place. Again, I'm gonna go into this in another video, but like grief is a motherfucker. You don't know grief until you know motherfucking grief. People be like, oh, like, cause and don't get me wrong, like, you lose your aunts, you lose your uncles, you lose your friend, da 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 da. But when you lose someone like super close, like your grandma, your mama, that shit is like, that shit's heavy. So, and then I will probably, like, again, in my next video or in a video in the future, I'll probably talk about like what happened, things that like I did to cope or I'm doing to cope. And like what's helping me navigate through my journey with like grieving someone as close to me as my grandma. So that's another thing that happened. I'm just playing catch up. The murder, I'm gonna talk about that in a later video because again, that's gonna be a funny story. But yeah, saw someone get murdered on the clock. Was traumatized by that shit. I mean, literally traumatized. Job said, bring your black ass back to work. It was just a mess. And like I said, I'm going to get into that. If y'all want that to be the next video, let me know in the comments and I can make that literally the next video. Saw that impacted just about everything. And that was another thing that like sparked me into like shooting into therapy, finding a good therapist and really just honing in on like how to navigate and process emotions properly. That's beneficial for me. Yeah, that murder was something different. And again, like when when I finally do that video, y'all gonna see because every time I tell the story, you'll see like little like I start to fidget. I can't look straight in the camera. Like it's just a mess. But I'll get through that video. We'll get through that video in the future. Again, I can talk about that because it's it's funny now, but it's very traumatizing. So, yeah, so that was another thing that like sparked my going into therapy and my mental health journey. I think that oftentimes us as Black people and us as people in general, men, Black people, Black men, Black women, we need therapy. We have to go to therapy. We need to find some outlet to navigate this life. And with this fucky ass president in office, we all need that time to just be and just to like vent and just to express ourselves and just yeah, all that jazz. So what's next? Moving forward, like I said, I want to be consistent. I want to make videos. I enjoy making videos. And now that I have like a moderately decent setup in my closet, you see the coat, I think that we can make this happen, especially if I can see that there's engagement and there's likes and there's comments. Again, this is still the perspective of a bisexual Black dude. And again, I'm going to get into that because I'm going to get into stuff like that. I'm going to get into my bi content and like express myself that way and things like that. But, yeah, I miss this. I miss talking. I miss being in front of you. You know what I mean? I miss my cousins. With that being said, I will see you in the next video.
I'm not